What is happening, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to speak about today's degenerate culture and just how bad it's gotten. So I hang out with my family every single Sunday, and a few weeks ago my sister showed me something that inspired me to make this video. Degenerate culture stems from having poor eating habits to being addicted to social media all the way to sexual deprivation. But for today, more specifically, I want to touch on sexual deprivation. But please make yourselves comfortable because I think I'm about to go on a rant. Okay, so the world as we know it has gone so far down the drain when it comes to degeneracy amongst men. If you guys follow in this niche, you guys already know exactly what I'm speaking about. Everything from having poor eating habits all the way to sexual deprivation, the list goes on. And one of the biggest problems that I personally always see in a lot of men is that they either think that these behaviors are either normal or some of them even think that it's funny. I really wanted to bring this up today because I want to show you guys just how bad the line has been crossed. So I did mention earlier that my sister showed me something that inspired me to make this video, and what that was is that apparently there's a community of guys now that go around taking shots and videos of random strangers, specifically women, and then posting them online for other guys to comment and say disgusting things about them. So we already know just how bad things have gotten with the porn industry, OnlyFans, and other webcam services, but to the point where we are now, that now you can't even go out in public. It could be your sister, your wife, your daughter, your mother who's next, and then being publicly placed online without their consent. I think things are getting pretty crazy. So I wanted to actually make this video specifically to break down why it is that this is happening in the first place. So I'm actually going to show you guys the clips that she shared with me. That way we can kind of break down together what's going on. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this because I've never done like a reaction video. I don't know the logistics, so I think I'm just going to record and then do a screen recording here on the computer and then just mute one thing or the other. You guys know what I mean. I don't even know why I'm saying that, but whatever. So here we go. So immediately getting started, this is a girl that appears to be in high school, and you know, she's being photographed without her consent. I'm not even gonna read that. Another stranger, another lady just walking in the streets. This seems to be like a Target or a Walgreens. I'm not sure. I just see the red and white, and that's what I related to. It says, you know, so I'm not gonna read these comments because obviously they're disgusting and I don't want YouTube to target me or anything like that. So whoever made these clips is somebody who's trying to raise awareness. These clips were shared on Instagram, and I didn't take the time to actually go on YouTube and see if somebody else has talked about this, but clearly this is a concern because, like I said, this could just be your sister, your mother, daughter, who's next. So you guys get the context of exactly what it is that I'm talking about here. And yeah, it's just gotten out of hand. You have random, you know, guys that have not a single brain cell, or just guys that have no life going around, screwing around and just doing this kind of stuff. It's getting kind of crazy, and yeah, it's just bad. So let me go ahead and show you guys the next clip. Okay, so for this next clip, I'm assuming that I'm just gonna say that the lady, there was a person, a lady that was stalking this guy. She probably must have noticed, you know, some kind of strange body language or some kind of strange behavior, because it motivated her to actually get him on camera. And honestly, I'm grateful that she did this because she was able to catch this asshole in the action of it, in the act of it. So I'll just let the video play.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress. Absolutely you did. Okay,
so, and then the guy has the audacity to say that he's not doing it, even though he was clearly caught in the act. So you guys can see what happened there. He tried to sneak a shot or a video of her from underneath. And here's the comments, right? So the comment says the store asset protection personnel reviewed the video and instructed the witness to call 911. Police arrived and arrested the man after viewing the footage. This happened in Greenville, North Carolina. Is that something that y'all do in North Carolina or what? Because that's crazy. Y'all need to calm down over there. Y'all need to start getting into other hobbies. I don't know, go hit the gym, go lift some weights. So the witness decided to follow the man and recorded him using her phone. When she saw him getting too close to the other woman and capturing the footage under her dress, she shouted at him and alerted the store security. So he was identified as this loser right here. He has been charged with felony secret peeping, released after posting a $5,000 bond. What? Hell no, man. That's personally, I think that should have been like a $20,000 bond, because what he's doing is that he's basically shooting almost like pornographic content without the consent of these women. This to me should be charged as rape. I think it's that bad. So nonetheless, I am happy that he was caught. Though, like I said, I think the charges should have been much higher. All right, so like we obviously know about the sexual garbage that has intoxicated the world. However, to the point where now it's targeting people that might just be a loved one, that is absolutely a whole new low, and I'm happy to be here to break this down with you guys. So, and also to raise awareness. So now I'm going to jump into degenerate culture in general, but I'll get back on topic with sexual deprivation in just a minute. I came across these videos a few years back by Paul Joseph Watson. If you guys don't know him, he's a great content creator on YouTube. I think he's got like 10 million followers. He breaks down degeneracy and just how crazy the left stream media has gotten. But a few years back, I came across these videos where he breaks down degeneracy and just how low the levels of self-respect that men have nowadays. So when I came across these videos, I saved them because I wanted to really talk about it, but I wasn't really a YouTuber then, so I'm just really excited to finally have gotten to this point. So let's go ahead, break these down, and check these out, guys.
Oh, you foul. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Oh, you.
So that's the first prime example. They lick the tub of ice cream and then they put it back. Okay, so here's the next clip. Oh, hell no. Oh, this one's even worse. This guy put his whole hand in the ice cream, took a bite off of it, shared it with the person that's recording it, and there you go. Obviously, they're gonna put it back into the fridge. Okay, so I've had enough of that. Here's another one.
Into the freezer.
So, yeah, this is horrible. This he, she, or whatever it is, freaking alien, grabs a bottle of Listerine, takes a gulp, and then spits it back. And so you guys know he's gonna put it back on the shelf.
Thank you guys.
So there we go. Or how about this one?
Burp on your zesty salsa.
Okay, that, I think I'm gonna throw up now. So just when you guys thought it couldn't get any worse, there's also this girl here by the name of Belle Delphine, and I'm not sure if she was a corn star or OnlyFans. It doesn't matter. Let's not give her relevance, even though, damn it, we're already talking about her, so. She's probably off the internet now because it was a while back. So what she would do is that she would gather her own bath water and then sell it on the internet. And I think I've heard the story before. I believe it was $10,000 that she would sell it for. And you actually had a bunch of incels literally paying that amount of money. And this is what I'm talking about, the low levels of self-respect. Why exactly is it that this is happening, right? And take a look at this, as if it couldn't get any worse. You have the sexualization of children and turning them into transvestites. So that's gonna be it for that clip. I'm gonna show you guys the next one. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Okay, so on this next one, what this is, I think this is OnlyFans. I'm not sure what it is. And what's going on is that you have guys that go on these webcam services and they'll pay money so that the stupid girl on the other end does certain poses and certain like little anime girl sounds, which is really embarrassing. Not just on her part, but just how far down the drain we've gotten. I mean, man really will spend money and spend time doing this? Man, this is sad. So another thing that they do is that, oh man, I can't with this. They feed them little emojis like this hot dog right here. And they pretend to eat it. Guys, if y'all don't understand what I'm trying to say here, this is crazy because you have a lot better things to do with your hard-earned money. It's just ridiculous. Like, we have men out in the oil fields, in construction, that are making great discoveries. Back in the days, man would sail across oceans and discover islands in new countries, right? Nowadays, we have men paying for virtual... Oh, God, you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I think I've had enough of that. You guys understand exactly where I'm coming from, so let's get back onto why exactly is it that this is happening. I believe the reason this is happening is because of conditioning. Everything starts off somewhere, and I believe that it starts off at youth. So whenever kids are born into this generation, nowadays they are immediately handed over a smartphone, a tablet, and millennials are basically like the last generation to have seen a world without the internet being prevalent. So what I mean by that is just think about if you're a millennial, maybe you're 32, 20, I think the last millennials is probably like 27, 28. So, you know, you guys were born in the 90s, in the late 80s, which means that you still got to see a world where the internet had not really reached its full potential yet. The internet was just kind of lame and weird. If you were using the internet, it was just slow, the computers were fat. So you were still inclined to play outside with your friends, but you still were a little bit open towards that technology. Well, nowadays, imagine this. Kids are immediately introduced to the internet, and they don't even know, they must not even hold a concept of how the world must have been without the internet being existent. I don't know if I make myself clear here. So as soon as these new kids are born, they're handed over a cell phone, they're handed over a tablet, and they're immediately introduced to certain things that they shouldn't be seeing, that over time, whether it be through social media or movies or cartoons or whatever, over time they become conditioned to this, to the point that when they grow up, everything is just normal. So over time, men in this instance are conditioned through sexual deprivation because of the porn industry and OnlyFans, that it leads to them to seeing all of these acts as something normal. Oh, well, everybody is doing it, everybody does this, so therefore it must be okay. And they think it's funny. And the more they consume, the more diluted their dopamine receptors become because of consuming the same thing over and over again. So dopamine is part of the brain's reward system, which over time, after reaching high level spikes, it gets to the point where the brain is no longer stimulated by seeing the same thing over and over again, leading to these men having to find alternate spikes, which leads to overall just needing more and more. Quite literally rotting their own brains. Sexual deprivation has become so normal that even companies like Dr. Squatch, which are geared towards making natural soaps to make you more manly, finds it funny to sell you Sydney Sweeney's bathwater now. In modern times, I believe that men are being escorted from their masculinity, and this sort of conditioning where men have no sort of accountability. They think that this stuff is normal and funny is a perfect example. This type of conditioning makes men more emotional, and so they resort more to what they feel rather than think logically. This is a normal standard nowadays where everyone seeks what's easy, fast, and convenient. And anything that is remotely uncomfortable is to completely be avoided. Or even anything that's remotely challenging, even though challenges are the thing that give value to rewards. Challenges actually increase testosterone and they call it like good dopamine, and there's a reason for that. The reason why it's a good dopamine release is due to the fact that it's not part of an instant gratification. There's a reward system going on here, but it's like your brain actually recognizes the difference between hardship and doing something that's easy. And men with low levels of testosterone have shown to be actually less ambitious. Everything is so diluted and easy nowadays that with the click of a button, your wildest dreams can come true, which leads to men to no longer have to face adversity or live a purposeful life. Lack of accountability and self-control has long left the building. Okay, so I already talked about the causes, which are the conditioning and normalization of the brain over time. But what exactly are the tools that have been used to get us to this point? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I already mentioned them. It's corn, OnlyFans, and I would say even a complacent livelihood, which is things that have to do with instant gratification, like social media and video games and TV shows. So the effects of corn on the brain is some pretty scary stuff, guys. It's an addiction. An addiction that incels either think it's funny or it's normal. Very few times we see this ever being addressed, but just like alcoholism and drug abuse is a form of enslavement, so is sexual deprivation. We live in a world where nowadays an 11-year-old boy can have access to everything that I'm talking about, and early on start to destroy his own little brain. An 11-year-old boy can legit see more attractive naked women than not only the kings of past, but more than the lifespan of every single man in recorded history. And all of this in one single instance, all without ever understanding what the value of true effort is. And reward should only be reserved for those who work for it. And as I mentioned, complacency is another thing. Plain and simple, there's nothing noble about living your life sitting on your ass, playing games and watching television. All that does is that it adds on to instantaneous rewards. And I'm not saying that all men turn out to be this way, but we certainly need to break down what are the roads that lead to these men acting this way. And that is normalization, conditioning, and desensitization. I also guarantee that a lot of these guys either come from fatherless families or a family with their father was not entirely involved. So the solution to all of this is not going to come easy, and I believe that there's really only 3 ways to solve these issues. And number 1 is to seek God and Jesus Christ. Number 2 is to have a dopamine detox. If you guys don't know what that is, you can go on YouTube and search it up. Either way, I'll be talking more on dopamine detox in a later video. And number 3 is to partake in activities that are of delayed gratification. Most people nowadays partake in instant gratification, which actually dilutes their dopamine receptors into not being able to partake in activities that are truly rewarding. Everything is easy and diluted and complacent. So for example, whenever people are addicted to social media and they like to doom scroll and stuff, they're frying their dopamine receptors that by the time they actually go out and partake in real social events, they've already burned out mentally. And that's the reason why we have so much social anxiety nowadays, where nobody's able to even speak to one another. Your attention span is fried because all you are doing is you have trained your brain to only be able to focus for 4 seconds every single time you scroll down on your phone. And people think that's funny. So there you have it. I just gave you a really quick snippet of exactly what it is you have to do if in fact you are involved with all of these activities. And hopefully you're not. But if you are, that's the main purpose of this video, and it's to help young guys out there. So the last thing that I would like to add on is that men and young men need to watch out who their role models are. So the stuff that I talked about on this video is kind of related to like the red pill, where you get an enlightenment and masculinity and all of this stuff. And the same kind of content can come from people like Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and other channels like this. And many times they make valid statements that can be implemented as a man. But honestly, some of the stuff that they say can be equally as degenerate as the stuff that I showed on this video, only in a different way. One of these guys literally getting his girlfriend pregnant and then asking her to abort the baby. Very masculine and manly of you. And Andrew Tate's original success coming from a webcam service. Some of his stuff, I'm not gonna lie, can be very motivational, but even the devil endorses himself as an angel of light, so you just gotta watch out what you're listening to. And there's another guy that said this, but I thought it was a really cool way to put it, is, you know, eat the chicken, spit out the bones. I don't know if I said that right, but I think you guys can figure that one out. So the narrative of these role models entices men so much because there was a need for an aggressive figure like Tate to come out and uplift men right back up again, because the world that we live in has become very soft. And I too was also intrigued by a lot of his messages until I started seeing that a lot of the things that these guys were saying, they're not exactly helping men out, and instead it's just confusing them and becoming insecure and basically just almost hating women. The last thing you want to do as a man is complain, and complain especially about women. Y'all gotta have a brain, follow your own arrow, and live your life based on godly morals, and not allow yourself to be defined by the standards of another man. Okay, I believe I've said everything that I wanted to. Thank you all very much for watching. And stick around for the next video. It's going to be similar content such as this. My name is Alan Cortez. I'm going to be talking about anything that has to do with improving your life as a guy, whether it's fitness, dressing better, becoming more attractive, personal development, all things of that sort. So again, thank you all very much. Like and subscribe if you like the video or don't. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, stay intentional. See ya.